Okay, let's talk about choosing a college major. It's like one of the first huge decisions we have to make, right? And it feels like it's going to define our entire future. The pressure is so real. Today, we're going to tackle one of the most common crossroads students face, the choice between two very different paths.
And really, at the heart of this whole thing is a question I think a lot of us wrestle with. Do you follow your curiosity about how the world works, or do you take the path that seems to have a clearer, more predictable financial outcome? It's that classic dilemma, passion versus paycheck.
So, to really dig into this, we're going to look at two super popular majors that, on the surface, feel like they're from different planets: sociology and business. Using insights from the Sociology Coach, we'll break down what each path offers. And you're going to want to stick around, because we'll also uncover a powerful idea that suggests you might not have to choose between them at all.
All right, so first up, let's dive into the path of sociology. This is all about getting to the why behind our social world.
So what is it exactly? Well, the Sociology Coach breaks it down as basically the scientific study of, well, us. Think about it. Why do we follow certain fashion trends? How is social media totally changing our relationships? Sociology explores these big questions, looking for the patterns in our social lives and how big institutions, like the government or the economy, shape the choices we make.
This is where you pretty much learn to become a social detective. A sociology education isn't just about, memorizing a bunch of theories. It's about learning how to investigate. You use research to uncover facts. You critically analyze tough issues like inequality. And you connect ideas from a bunch of different fields. Ultimately, it trains you to look at the world around you and just ask, wait, why are things this way?
Okay, now let's switch gears and see how all that compares to the world of business. If sociology is all about the why, business is often way more focused on the how.
So, business majors are learning the nuts and bolts of making things happen. The whole curriculum is built around the really practical challenges of running any kind of organization, whether it's a tiny startup or a giant global corporation. You're learning how to manage money, people, and products to create value and, thrive in a competitive marketplace.
And here, the focus totally shifts to application. The core of a business degree is all about solving tangible problems. You're developing hard skills like financial analysis and those essential soft skills like leadership. Everything is geared toward a really clear goal, making organizations run smarter, faster, and more effectively.
So, okay, we've got two very different approaches, right? Now let's put them side by side, because seeing the skills and the career outcomes right next to each other, that's when the dilemma really hits home for a lot of students.
And you can see the contrast so clearly right here. Sociology builds skills for understanding people, analyzing social trends, understanding different cultures. Business builds skills for understanding organizations, strategic planning, financial management. And while both teach you to think critically, they point that skill in very different directions.
And, yeah, here's the paycheck part of the dilemma in really stark terms. According to data cited by the Sociology Coach, a social worker, a common path for sociology majors, has a median salary of around $52,000. Now compare that to a marketing manager, a popular role for business grads, at nearly $136,000. That's a gap that's impossible to ignore and a huge factor for a lot of students. But salary isn't the whole story.
But hey, don't let that salary comparison be the full picture. The skills you get from a sociology degree are actually super valuable in the business world. Your deep understanding of people is perfect for a role like a market research analyst, figuring out why consumers behave the way they do, or an HR specialist focused on creating a healthy and productive workplace culture.
And of course, a business degree offers some really direct paths into the corporate world. You could be a financial analyst, helping guide a company's investment strategy, or an operations manager, the person who makes sure every part of the business runs like a well-oiled machine.
Okay, so up until now, we've kind of framed this as an either-or choice, right? Sociology or business, passion or paycheck. But what if that whole way of thinking is flawed? What if the most powerful option isn't choosing one or the other, but both?
What if you didn't have to choose? What if you could actually get the best of both worlds? What if understanding society could make you better at business, and understanding business could help you make a bigger social impact?
This is what the Sociology Coach calls the hybrid advantage. And the idea is pretty simple but powerful. Combining these fields, whether it's a double major, a minor, or even just being smart about the courses you pick, creates a skill set that is just uniquely valuable in today's economy. You get the why and the how.
Just look at these career paths. To be great at corporate social responsibility, you absolutely need to understand social issues and a company's bottom line. To run a successful nonprofit, you need passion for the mission and the business skills to keep it going. This hybrid approach doesn't just open more doors, it creates entirely new ones that are both meaningful and financially solid.
At the end of the day, the right choice is, of course, deeply personal. So how do you figure out your own path, whether it's one, the other, or that combination of both?
Well, the Sociology Coach suggests using these 4 questions as a kind of guide. Don't think of it as a test. Think of it more like a compass. Answering them honestly can help you find your own true north and figure out what truly motivates you. And ultimately, it's so important to remember this key insight from our source material. Your major is a starting point, not a life sentence. The analytical skills from sociology and the practical skills from business are valuable in almost any field you can imagine. The most important thing is to choose a path that engages you and helps you build a set of skills you're genuinely excited to use.
So, whether you're leaning towards sociology, business, or that really powerful hybrid path, your journey is just getting started. And we'd love to hear from you. What questions do you still have about majoring in sociology or business? Go ahead and drop them in the comments.